2 defeats in the opening 2 games of the Women's World Cup, and you would expect the mood to be downbeat in the Welsh camp. But that's certainly not the case according to head coach Rhys Edwards.
You know, we've had a good time to reflect on what happened against Australia, and you know, disappointed as we were, there were more positives coming out of it in terms of attack and defence than we realised. So it's a case of holding on to those and putting that together with the France footage, and you know, getting that game plan right and just basically going out and executing it.
South Africa this morning said that they can go out and finish the pool group on a winning note. No doubt that's your intention as well. Does that mean it's going to be a tight affair?
Of course, you know, it's important that you finish on a high going into the next sort of stages. But you know, we're confident that we know if we do what we can do, then we should beat South Africa quite easily. The difficulty is that the pressure in the game is going to be something that's going to be sort of found out in the first 10 minutes, and you know, the first 10-15 minutes of each game we've been the stronger team in both. So you know, that's the challenge that we've set ourselves, and starting well and knowing that if we do that and get some points on the board, it'll finish off well.
How difficult is it going to be for the players to put those 2 disappointing results behind them when they go into the match against South Africa?
I think naturally it is something that's just going to be on your mind, isn't it? But as you know, the profession now in their approach, and that's something that we've really worked on the last sort of 18 months. That every game is something that you focus differently on, and you know, we haven't performed, and we know we haven't got the results that we probably deserve. But you know, it's that professional mentality now that you know, we've got to keep focused and just keep doing what we do and executing when we get those opportunities.
As a coach, obviously you look back on those 2 games. How frustrating is it knowing that you've actually played really well and yet not come away with anything?
Yeah, it's frustrating, and I'd be lying if I said we haven't questioned what we're doing and gone back and look at you know, did we have the right game plan, did we have the right personnel in, but you know, we've got the evidence that each of those answers is yes, and you know, we've got the players to do it. It's just having that belief probably initially, but then more so getting the rewards when they're justified. And you know, and there's quite a few examples from the last game that things that weren't in our hands were sort of taken off us. So it's important that we don't dwell on those and keep staying positive.
So the belief is still there within the squad?
Oh, definitely, you know, and it hasn't changed. The only disappointment for me is that result against Australia, to be honest. You know, the first one was going to be hard, but you know, reality and realistically, it was probably just a little bit too far for us. But Australia were there for the taking, and you know, we're more annoyed that we didn't take that opportunity. So you know, we always targeted that game and South Africa. So you know, there's no reason why we can't go out on a high.
And I suppose it even hurts more when the Australian camp tell you how well you guys defended in those last stages to deny them the bonus point try.
Yeah, exactly, and that's something that you know, we've got to respond to and take credit for as well. That you know, the scrum we completely dominated, well, incredibly, you know, and we didn't really get the rewards for that. And also our defence at times was outstanding. That you know, they couldn't do anything, and for them to openly admit that at the end is hard to take. But then you know, it just shows. You know, the credit the girls do when it's there. It's just those mistakes which we've talked about that we've got to make sure we eradicate.
With South Africa yet to register a victory themselves, the Welsh players are expecting a torrid battle on Saturday as both teams look to finish the pool stage with a flourish.
I think it is going to be a tough game, but everything now we're doing is focusing on that game, and we're focusing on the win as much as they are, to take us forward into the next stages.
Now Wales, they've unfortunately lost both their pool stages. In these sort of times, heads can drop. Has that been the case with the camp?
Definitely not. I think the evening we got back, everyone was slightly down in the dumps, but it hasn't taken long for us to pick ourselves back up again, and all the focus now is back on that South Africa game and getting the win we need and the win we also deserve.
So despite losing the 2 games, there have been plenty of positives within the 2 games though, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely. Reviewing the games, there's a lot of opportunities we've had that we've just not been that clinical right at the end when we needed it, but that's something we've been working on and we're hoping to sharpen up as we go into the next game.
So do you think you can put those sort of things right against South Africa and finish the pool on a winning note?
That's the aim, yes, definitely. That's the hope amongst us all, and we definitely have a lot of belief as well.